Hey everybody. So for this class, we're starting out with some pretty heavy-duty questions. So I decided to make this video for absent students or people who needed to hear this again who felt I was moving too quickly. So we are going to begin something called medieval times, which is fairly simple. It's the fall of Rome to the Renaissance, and there's lots of pieces to medieval times that we're going to learn about. But before we move on to something new, I want to take a step back with some major events and go over some pretty major concepts. So number one, what it was significant about the Code of Hammurabi. This was the first codified law in human history, all the way back in Mesopotamia. So it was the first time that a leader wrote down what the rules and the laws were. And this was a big development in our story. But the Mesopotamians, that was the first civilization. So this is ancient history. Where did democracy begin? This idea of majority rules. It began in Athens, Greece. So I told you when we learned about ancient Greece that teaching American kids about Greece was like teaching fish about water. I'm talking to you living in a democratic republic, and the origins are in Athens, Greece. Again, a long time ago, centuries and centuries ago, millennia ago. Now, number three, what was significant about the Ten Commandments? Now, religion aside, the Ten Commandments were one of the first times in history with rule of law, that people come and go, laws stay the same. In other words, when the Ten Commandments were put forward, it applied for all time, that these rules will apply to all the people that come forward. And before rule of law, whoever was running the show would make a set of laws, and then they would leave or die, and then a new set of laws. So the Ten Commandments, as a concept, were meant that they will always be. The people will come and go, the laws stay the same. The 12 tables, and what system of government did they support? So the ancient Romans had these 12 tables that established the laws and the rules of ancient Rome, and they posted them everywhere so that people would know them. Now, I'm going to argue that concept is similar to our Constitution, that it's pretty much in every social studies teacher's classroom that I've ever seen, and that you can look at it and know what the rules are, how things work, your rights, and that kind of thing. Now, they supported a system of a democratic republic, which happens to be the system we use. And we can look at our system and trace it back to ancient Rome. Now, when Rome fell, the Byzantines took over a big area that Rome used to control. And one of their emperors was named Justinian, and he had a code, Justinian's Code, which was the advent of civil law, meaning a wrongdoing can be fixed with restitution and money and not criminal. The example I gave in class, if you run into my car and you damage my car, I don't want to put you in a jail cell. That's absurd. At the same time, you've done a wrongdoing. You've damaged my car. But if you fix my car door, we're good. We can live to fight another day, and we don't put you away. So to this day, we discern between civil law and criminal law. Even in our Constitution, the 6th and 7th Amendments of our Constitution, one is criminal, one is civil. And that's a huge legal milestone in our human story. Now, the Viking Althing is the first parliament of Europe, and it's the longest running parliament, this parliamentary law-making body that is, close to 1,200 years old. And again, this Viking influence on the world of today, in addition to the 1,000 words and, the days of our week, and obviously how far they've spread. But the Viking Althing is the longest running parliament in human history. So as we're moving from the past to the present, we build upon these legal milestones, this collective learning that we build upon. Now, rule of law, as I mentioned with the Ten Commandments, people will come and go, laws stay the same. I'll scale up to something simple. I get fired or I get hit by a bus and I'm no longer your teacher at Clarenceville. Whoever they hire to replace me, they still are going to follow the rules of Clarenceville. They're not going to have an entirely new set of rules. I'm gone, but the laws stay the same. The student handbook stays the same. And that's at the lowest scale all the way to our Constitution, which is our largest scale. Due process. Due process is our Fifth Amendment of our Constitution. It's this idea that every citizen gets the protections of our rights and gets a fair shake if you are accused of a wrongdoing. That everybody gets a fair shake in our legal system. Everybody has the same rights in the legal system. And the ninth one is, what economic rights do you have as an American? So this one you can answer on your own, and it has to do with the Magna Carta. But again, when you look at rights, they're not just the rights of the human rights, they're rights in terms of how you can make money. I'm going to leave number 9 because I think that one's pretty doable. But hopefully in this very brief 5-minute talk, it gave you a good breakdown of these legal milestones as we move to this time period of history, the fall of Rome to the Renaissance. So the most ancient of history, the first civilization, and then where we left off with the Vikings. And these concepts apply to what we're going to be talking about actually throughout the rest of the year. So little explanation, hope it helped. So see you all in class. Bye-bye.